Γεια σας ψυχουλίνια μου όμορφα, ψυχούλες μου γλυκές, αγαπημένες. Τι μου κάνετε, τι μου γίνεστε, Tserpeption. Καλή χρονιά, χρόνια πολλά σε όλους παιδάκια. 8 Γενάρη 2023, σήμερα είμαστε επίσημα ζωντανά στα κανάλια μας YouTube και Twitch. Και στο Τρόβο, κλασικά, το πείμα το ξέρετε 2 χρόνια τώρα. Οφείλουμε να τα επαναλάβουμε. Χρόνια πολλά, ξαναλέω παιδιά, τελειώσαν οι γιορτές, επιστρέψαμε στους εορτάζοντες, στους βασίλειδες που είχαμε, στα πάντα. Ευχές για ένα δυνατό, ωραίο 2023 παιδιά, χωρίς απρόοπτα. Εντάξει, ψιλοξεκινήσαμε με απρόοπτα, η αλήθεια είναι. Εξάλλου, ό,τι είναι να γίνει παιδιά θα γίνει, δεν αλλάζει. Το ξέρουμε αυτό το πράγμα. Δεν αλλάζει. Δηλαδή, από αυτό που λέμε κάθε χρονιά και χειρότερα, ναι, το καταλαβαίνω, αλλά σκεφτείτε το λίγο στο μυαλό σας. Δείτε το big picture. Ό,τι είναι να γίνει, θα γίνει. Ό,τι είναι γραφτό να γίνει, θα γίνει. Είτε πάει η ανθρωπότητα κατά διαόλου, είτε δεν πάει κατά διαόλου. Καταλαβαίνετε. Καλώς ήρθατε παιδάκια, καλώς ήρθατε όσοι μας παρακολουθείτε. Ανάρτησα τώρα, έχω βγει και με μια καθυστέρηση μιας ώρας, γιατί η αλήθεια είναι ξύπνησα και πιο αργά και καταλαβαίνετε. Σας είχα πει 4 και βγήκα εν τέλει 5. Αυτό γιατί ήθελα να φάω, να ετοιμαστώ, καταλαβαίνετε. Και αυτό. Οπότε ξέρετε, τώρα με βλέπετε ζωντανά. Είμαστε εδώ, αυτό η σημασία. Δεν πειράζει μωρέ, τι είναι μια ώρα. Τι είναι μια ώρα, δεν είναι τίποτα. Δεν είναι τίποτα. Μα ζουλεύετε τώρα. Εντάξει καλέ. Εντάξει σιγά. Αυτό παιδιά. Πρώτο live streaming μας για το 2023. Θυμάστε, σας είχα... Μισό λεπτό και να φτιάξουμε και λίγο την κάμερα. Υπέροχα εκεί. Ποίηση. Είχα παίξει, είχα ανεβάσει και ένα μαγνητοσκοπημένο live streaming. Ένα streaming μαγνητοσκοπημένο. Δεν ήταν live, δεν ήμουν ζωντανά. Τα Χριστούγεννα, έτσι να το τιμήσουμε λίγο, ήμουνα με το σκούφο και αυτά το είχα τραβήξει. Εγώ το έχω κάνει recorded και το έχω κάνει upload. Θα το βρείτε στα μαγνητοσκοπημένα. Που είχα παίξει Midnight Ghost Hunt με την καινούργια πίστα το Mall, η χριστουγεννιάτικη ενημέρωση και το Vampyr the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Έτσι να δούμε και λίγο εξελίξεις, γιατί είναι παιχνιδάρα ρε παιδιά, που προσθέσανε το Team Deathmatch να πούμε. Λοιπόν, 5 και 8. Καλώς ήρθατε. Καθίστε αναπαυτικά. Όσοι νιώθετε μόνοι, όσοι νιώθετε δεν ξέρω, σε άσχημη ψυχολογική κατάσταση, θα κάνω ό,τι περνάει από το χέρι μου για να σας κρατήσω συντροφιά και να σας δώσω μια γλυκιά νότα αισιοδοξίας και χαράς, παιδιά. Παρεούλα εδώ έτσι, με το Tserpeption σας, το ξαναλέω για όσους με αγαπάτε. Όσοι δεν με αγαπάτε, δεν πειράζει, ρε παιδιά, δεν χαλάμε. No hard feelings δηλαδή. Λοιπόν, πάμε να χαθούμε λίγο στον κόσμο του gaming. Vampyr. Λονδίνο 1918, επιστρέφουμε, συνεχίζουμε part 2, Pembroke Hospital. Μισό. Και αυτό παιδάκια. Συνεχίζουμε εκεί, πάμε να δούμε, μπαίνουμε, jump in κατευθείαν. Και κάτι άλλο παιδιά. Στις γιορτές, που το έχει και σε έκπτωση, αγόρασα Gotham Knights. Θα παίξουμε. Θα το μοιραστώ μαζί σας, προφανώς. Εντάξει ρε παιδιά, υπάρχουν και κάποιοι που μπορεί, ξέρω εγώ, να μην ξέρουν το παιχνίδι. Καταλαβαίνετε, οπότε... Ξέρετε. Κάτσε παιδιά, με βάλω πιο κάτω να βλέπετε και τα quests. Οπότε... Θα εντρυφήσουμε, θα δούμε και από Gotham Knights γενικά. Μη μου αγχώνεστε, όλα θα γίνουνε. Μισό λεπτό παιδάκια, ακούτε τον ήχο έτσι, ναι ακούτε, έχουμε ήχο. Μισό να ανοίξω και το χειριστήριο, το έχω στη φόρτιση. Λοιπόν. Παιδιά, δεν το πιστεύω ότι γυρίσαμε, πραγματικά. Night shift. Continue. If you're not strong enough, remember that the blood of citizens is the fastest way to evolve. You can also upgrade your weapons using workbenches which are available in every hideout. Εντάξει, τα workbenches είχαμε πει, παιδιά, να σας θυμίσω, ήταν για τα όπλα. Ξέρετε τι, ρυθμίζω εγώ την κάμερα, εδώ πέρα με βάζω κάτω, ώστε να με ώστε ρε παιδιά, να βλέπετε και τα quests από πάνω που εμφανίζει, να μην τα κρύβω εγώ με την οθόνη της κάμερας, καταλάβατε. Εδώ αυτή που με βλέπετε. Οπότε ξέρετε. Α, τον είχα πάει level 6. Λοιπόν. Answer the door, bring back the wallet to its owner. Νάτος ο Ντόκτορ. Παιδιά, μισό, θα με κατεβάσω κι άλλο, θέλω πραγματικά να βλέπετε τα quests. Sorry, πείτε με ψυχαναγκαστικό, αλλά θέλω πραγματικά να βλέπετε τα quests. Να φαίνονται, ρε παιδί μου, πώς το λένε. Άμα είναι τα αντικείμενα, θα σας τα διαβάζω εγώ, τα notes, οτιδήποτε notes βρούμε στο παιχνίδι. Λοιπόν, πάμε. Bring back the wallet, ναι, answer the door. Είχαμε μείνει εδώ, παιδιά, θυμάστε, πριν τις γιορτές. Η Dorothy, η νοσοκόμα.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Δεν έχουν πολλά αντισηπτικά φάρμακα, δηλαδή. No antiseptics at all.
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics.
Τι νοσοκομείο
You have
διαχειρίζεστε?
been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
Ωραία.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead.
Κοίταξε, παιδιά, τη
Now,
φάζα της
where's the
Dorothy,
hospital
κοιτάξτε.
storeroom?
Παιδιά, κοιτάξτε,
The
τη φάζα της Dorothy.
Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
Πάμε στο νεκροτομείο,
It's the
παιδιά.
large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons.
Ναι,
Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
μάλιστα.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital.
Morgue
Small
key.
door at the end of a narrow
Μας το δώσει η
street.
Dorothy.
On my way then.
Ως
Thank you,
διαμαγείας
nurse.
εδώ μεταξύ. Enter the old morgue. Bring back the wallet to its owner. Περίεργο, ρε παιδιά. Για να μαζώ λίγο. Ναι. Α, εντάξει, παιδιά, τέλεια. Το streaming πάει άψογα. Λοιπόν. Εδώ τι είπαμε ήτανε...
It's locked.
Ο Dr. Tippett, τα γραφεία τους. 6 level τον έχω πάρει τον Jonathan. Κάτσε εδώ, ρε παιδιά, μήπως έχει κάτι άλλο. Μήπως έχουμε κάτι άλλο στο δωμάτιο. Article on Econs. It is a rare opportunity and almost a privilege to approach a vampire, to observe their most intriguing physical and psychological traits with a scientific and rational eye. Συγγνώμη. Here are some of the most fascinating abilities I've personally observed over the last 10 years while interviewing a few vampires, or Econ, as they prefer to call themselves. Supernatural speed. A vampire can act and move like a mortal in all his actions, but the trained eye will spot that they have the keenest senses and can react quicker than any mortal. On a few occasions, alarm, surprise, necessity to flee, I have seen a vampire move so quickly it is almost as if he had vanished just to reappear somewhere else. The human eye cannot follow their movements when they act so quickly, but it is not a teleport or dematerialization. It is only a supernatural speed. For me, it is a cat-like attribute, which allows them to run, dodge, or jump longer and faster than us. I also noticed that such a speed seems to exhaust them and that they are bound to physical limitations. mesmerism. One of the most powerful abilities a vampire can deploy is the capacity to force a mortal to obey them. Ο ψυχαναγκασμός ο λεγόμενος, παιδιά, που σας έλεγα και στο προηγούμενο live streaming, πριν τις γιορτές. Που έχω μείνει στο obey them. I call this trait mesmerism, but it has nothing to do with the mortal ability to alter a subject's mental state. A vampire can bend a mortal to their will, and they can even break a mind. A vampire I interviewed even told me the more a subject tries to resist, the more permanent the damage will be, as if the vampire could literally fracture the target's side. The same vampire explained to me that this ability required time to master and that the result could vary widely from one subject to another. Implant a false memory, erase a painful one, the possibilities are endless and frightening. Και τελευταίο, blood awareness. This may be the most catastrophic ability of all concerning vampires, since it is the cause of so many tragedies for them and us. Vampires crave for blood. They must use their will to restrain themselves from frequently drinking every drop of blood they can see. They need blood to function and to express their full supernatural traits. A famished vampire can be very weak, even if he cannot die or of hunger or thirst. This urge, this need for blood, may explain why a vampire is so aroused by it. A vampire confessed to me that blood could sometimes blind him, since its smell and attractiveness can be so strong. When he focuses, a vampire can almost see blood all around them, inside warm bodies, through walls, on a supposedly clean weapon. Όπα! Κατά λάθος, παιδιά, πάτησα εγώ που κουμπί pause στο χέρι μου, etc. The same vampire even told me that he can see if a mortal has clean blood or is ill, and that in some cases he can even sense diseases, infected clothes, or even items in a room. If this is true, it could have so many medical applications it almost beggars belief. Ναι, βλέπουμε και διάλογο από κάτω. Τώρα, παιδιά, να κάνουμε κάτι crafting. Δεν έχουμε. Μόνο το analyze. Ναι, δεν τα έχουμε όλα τα υλικά. Όπα, περιμένετε. Σέρουμε έχουμε, όχι, μας λείπει ένα βασικό συστατικό υλικό. Καλά, ρε φίλε, έχουμε κάνει τα όπλα. Λοιπόν... Enter the old morgue. Θα μπούμε στο old morgue. Used Hoxo. Ναι, εδώ είναι το χειρουργείο. T. Elwood's medical file. Patient Thomas Elwood, male, age 28, followed by Dr. Tippage. Status convalescence. Date of admission September 16th. Date of release to be determined. Note: the patient's face has been heavily burned and disfigured by a bomb during the war. Even with the use of the strongest sedatives, he affirms to regularly endure severe pain from the wounds, as if the flames are still burning under the skin, he says. Examination of the cicatrized tissues show no trace of inflammation, infection, or swelling. Scars are clean. Could it be a case of persisting nerve damage? The patient never ceases to blame himself for his disfiguration. Could it be a case of guilt of the survivor? Phantom pain manifesting as a punishment for not dying with his comrades. Κάποιος ασθενής λογικά που είχε υποστεί ακροτηριασμό. Λίγο, παιδιά, να θυμηθώ κι εγώ, μην νομίζετε. Photography and wallet. Milton and Pippa forever. Οπότε, παιδιά, New hit available, Thomas Edwood. Πούντος. Θα τον βρούμε. Πάμε πάλι κάτω.
Not now. Please come back later.
It's locked, all right.
Πάμε λίγο να μιλήσουμε. Δεν είχαμε μιλήσει με κάποιους, να ξέρετε. Το θυμάστε, φαντάζομαι. Ναι, εδώ δεν έχει κάτι άλλο. Ωραία, το μόνο σίγουρο που ξέρουμε second floor, δεν έχουμε πρόσβαση. Τουλάχιστον δεν ξέρουμε μετά αν ανοίγει. Για την ώρα όμως δεν έχουμε πρόσβαση. Λοιπόν, Vampire Senses. Thomas Eltwood, ωραία, Dorothy Crane.
Yes, Doctor?
Α, μπράβο, where is the morgue? Πρέπει να ρωτήσουμε.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever
Είναι ωραία,
sleep?
παιδιά, οι διάλογοι.
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've
Αιώνες
witnessed many a
τώρα.
colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at
Με
Pembroke?
τα αντισηπτικά, παιδιά, λείπουν
It really
τα
depends.
φάρμακα.
Dr. Swansea deftly
έλλειψη.
works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Backdoor. Α, ωραία.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Ωραία. Auto save. Να μιλήσουμε και γενικά με τους υπόλοιπους. Θα πάρουμε και άλλες πληροφορίες, παιδάκια. Οπα. Small bottle. Μας κάνει. Κάτσε, παιδιά, γιατί κατά λάθος εγώ γυρίζω την κάμερα. Πατάω λίγο τον αναλογικό το δεξί. In the name of mercy, they depend on you. Nurses are needed now. Nurses are needed now. Acquire the nearest appointments office at the Ministry of Labour and National Service of Right to 15 Kingways, London. Η Dorothy πάλι. Α, με αυτή δεν έχουμε μιλήσει καθόλου. Καλά, πάμε να μιλήσουμε λίγο με Thomas Elwood, γιατί νομίζω έχουμε hint να του πούμε.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here.
Ναι, ο
War
Τζόναθαν
injuries,
είναι
am I
τέτοιο.
right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Μπορώ να τον κάνω mesmerize.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Είμαστε επικεφαλής. Ο
No effect.
Τζόναθαν Ρίντ είναι επικεφαλής
Told
της
you.
χειρουργικής, έγινε στο
It's like the
Pembroke
flames
Hospital.
are under my skin, burning away.
Και ποιος γιατρός αναλαμβάνει.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking
Παιδιά,
after
τώρα
you?
ηρωνία,
Nobody
έτσι.
since the old
Γιατρός
untied doctor
βρικόλακας και να
spoke to me.
κρύβεται από τον κοινή θέα.
Started to think I was forgotten about.
Μόνο ο Σουάνσι ξέρει την αλήθεια
blame
του
you.
You
Τζόναθαν.
don't seem worried.
Τουλάχιστον είναι
My
ασφαλής τώρα
face
που είναι στο
hurts
νοσοκομείο,
so
γι' αυτό
much
έπιασε
more when I
δουλειά
smile
εκεί.
or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Ωραία. Real cause of injury.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury,
hinting
Thomas?
αυτό.
What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells.
Ah,
It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen.
oh,
Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Α, και ξέσπασε η φωτιά και κάηκε μάλλον το πρόσωπό του.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
You disgust on every street corner.
Α, ο Σιν Χάμπτον που σώσαμε. Ο ιερέας δεν ήταν αυτός, ναι.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful
Τον
things to
σώσαμε
you,
στο
I'm afraid.
factory.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Ωραία. You presence in William Bishop's den.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met
Άρα
here,
έγινε βρικόλακας
this
ο
Miss
William.
Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle?
Ναι.
I met him before
Στο
I
μπαρ,
found you in the
παιδιά.
canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Να δούμε λίγο το situation στα East End Docks που είχαμε
What is the general
ξεκινήσει.
situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang
Who
now?
leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show,
Oh.
with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Α, η γυναίκα του Edwina. Has the gang been threatening you?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Personal.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all,
Διάκονος,
Doctor.
αλλά όχι.
I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why not use your cross against
Why
William?
didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Ωραία. Λοιπόν. Made friends.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Ναι.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
Πάντα
I feel
medical.
exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually.
Ναι,
William
ωραία.
drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Λοιπόν. Όχι, παιδιά, ναι.
It's locked.
Με τον Τόμας μιλήσαμε. Η Ντόροθι.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor.
Πίπα, η Πίπα.
I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
Μπράβο,
And I'm
Πίπα.
Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position.
Η άλλη πάει πέρα εδώ, δεν κάνει μαγκάρι,
it's a
παιδιά.
euphemism that you'll help me
Τρελή, αυτή είναι
appreciate
παρανοϊκή,
it,
να
Doctor.
ξέρετε.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Συγκρατηθείτε
Sorry,
νοσοκόμα.
I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
The Spanish flu won't last
Nurse
forever.
Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You've been a nurse for how long?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
New hint. Είναι τρία, δεν μπορούμε να την κάνουμε mesmerize.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Περιμένετε. Ναι, ο Clay Cox που τον κάναμε embraced, παιδιά. Gwyneth Paranagan.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to
Thelma,
me,
bravo.
mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your
παρανοϊκή.
pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins.
Oh.
I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty.
Thelma is affected by the Cotard syndrome and believes he's a vampire.
Mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Wrong target, new investigation. Local investigations. A new citizen investigation is available. Press ναι to open the local investigations menu. Okay. Citizen investigations are displayed here, categorized by districts. You can start a new citizen quest by tracking it with X, then access to your map to locate the area to explore. Ο Milton, bravo, Midnight in the Garden, ναι, bring back and track the wallet to its owner και wrong target. Thelma. Find out who is spying on Thelma.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Άσε μας κουκλίτσα μου.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Περίμενε, όμως πρέπει να βρούμε Night shift to cope with the epidemic. Okay. Nordock, Southwark. Εδώ η γέφυρα περάσαμε, ναι, και πήγαμε απέναντι.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about
Aykroyd.
your arrival. I'm Waverly Aykroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Aykroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Αυτός είναι ηλίθιος, παιδιά, είναι κομπλεξικός. Δράστε με.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Aykroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position.
Καλά, και αυτοί συζητάνε δίπλα από τον ασθενή, ο ασθενής
I know
υποφέρει,
we've never
ρε.
met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy?
Έλατε.
It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation, they're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Ω. Ρε τον Aykroyd. Τώρα, παιδιά, μισό λεπτάκι, να σας ύψω το τσιγαράκι. Personal questions. I have proved my value.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Aykroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Άσε μας, ρε Aykroyd.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Άσε μας, ρε Aykroyd. Bad memories of your
It
military
seems you
service.
have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Aykroyd.
Εντάξει, ναι. Ναι, παιδιά, αυτό συμφωνούμε. Οκ. Έχεις το καλό τρόμαξα. Μου φύγε το... Κάτσε, παιδιά, βάλω το στικάκι. Το thumbstick. Your life, ναι. Περίμενε, εδώ έχουμε μείνει. Πάτε με.
I don't know what you've heard about.
I don't quite...
And what this
You see...
Αυτά τα κάναμε.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Ηλίθιος, παιδιά, κομπλεξικός. Βλέπετε λοιπόν ότι κάποιους δεν τους έχουμε μιλήσει.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Έχει δεμένο
May I
χέρι.
help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Εντάξει, λογικό. Λογικό.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Doctors are arguing.
Tell me about the
case.
doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Ωραία. Your life in London. Όχι. Personal. Hint required. Μάλιστα.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Ναι, Vampire Senses. Εντοπίζουμε.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your
Strickland,
arrival,
bravo,
but I
bravo,
could
bravo.
not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Ωραία. Your life in... Μεσμεράεις έχει 4. Α, μπράβο, hint.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea, but with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Investigation.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Oh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Για να το ρωτήσουμε το Hint.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Your wife died because of you. Did you voluntarily hurt yourself?
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick, unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915.
1915. I was in the army,
3 χρόνια πριν.
building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
Ah, so many died during the bombings.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. Κοιτάμε Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Dorothy, Pippa Hawkins, Thomas Edwood. Unknown. Αλλά
I
εδώ...
cannot enter.
Ναι, δεν μπορούμε να μπούμε στο δωμάτιο λογικά ακόμα.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I have found your wallet. Κάτσε τώρα, γιατί έχουμε ζουμί εδώ.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor.
Και το λέει και το περηφανεύεται, παιδάκια. Your mediocre reputation.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway, to remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
junk. Investigation succeeded. Περιμένετε τώρα, ξέρετε τι, θέλουμε τις έρευνες, τα investigations, succeeded. Milton Hawks, the Pembroke's ambulance driver, confessed a patient he was bringing to the hospital attacked him. He had to escape through the facility's garden but lost his wallet while doing so. The attacker must have been quite violent for Milton refused to return there anymore. Maybe I should research the garden and see for myself what is really going on there. Reach the pharmacy. Dr. Thoreau Strickland is a young and daring physician who is fascinated by the science of medical advance. He is presently conducting some experiments on his own, but he is waiting for some products he recently ordered. He suspects the present shortage may have incited his supplier to sell the batch to a more eminent doctor than him. That's why he asked me to go there and use my reputation to obtain the needed supplies. Thelma Horcroft is a delusional patient at the Pembroke Hospital who is convinced that she is already dead or undead and trapped inside a rotting body. Despite her obvious mental issues, the woman claims that she has been spied on by some men and women who want to hunt her down because she's a vampire. Is she referring to the Guard of Priven? I can't take the risk of having these hunters investigate around the hospital. Maybe I should spy on them and protect Thelma Horcroft from those hunters. Θα κάνουμε αυτό.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Mutant Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the Trent.
Newton's phobia of rats prevent him from rescuing his missing friend.
She'll suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is... nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
Ωραία.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
CTU. Life saved by efficient medical aid is a blow struck at the of the flow epidemic. Volunteers make the difference. Το sitting issue.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Waste your time with me.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. But I'm fine, thank you.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all
Αυτή
that
παίζει να είναι
matters.
πλούσια, παιδιά. Are you that rich?
Are you really that rich?
Πώς έπεσα μέσα.
Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the
hospital efficiency.
staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
To pay.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I will see you later. I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Λοιπόν, treatment for fatigue. Ναι. Πρέπει να βρούμε λίγο treatment. Όλοι οι άλλοι είναι υγιείς. Απλά πρέπει να βρούμε για το συγκεκριμένο treatment for fatigue, παιδιά. Πάμε να... Νομίζω πρέπει να έχουμε. Ο Harvey. Unknown.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
The dead seem at the same time.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague,
Yes.
sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana.
Chandana.
Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
Because not afraid of this since he served as a medic.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Do you need medical attention?
I'm feeling all right, Doctor. But perhaps it is because I, too, am used to the smell of the dead.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir.
No.
I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Ναι. Your life in London, personal questions. Okay, let's trade.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Η μαλακιά, παιδιά, είναι ότι δεν έχουμε και πολλά χρήματα. Opium, codeine, ναι. Enigmatic formula.
Never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem peaceful and lost at the same time.
It's locked.
Presenting it, your every life saved by efficient medical aid is a blow stack of the flu epidemic. Volunteers make the difference. Inquire at the nearest appointments office of the Ministry of Labor and National Service of Right to... Ωραία.
It's locked, all right.
Εδώ είμαστε, παιδιά. Merchants, price for the goods may vary depending on their district's health status. The old morgue. Find useful medicinal ingredients in the old morgue. Find some ferrous tartrate, find some quinine, find some sodium hypochlorite. Glass vial. Για να ψάξουμε, να δούμε, παιδιά. Ψάξουμε. Όπα. Blood. Το morgue εδώ, φίλε. Το νεκροτομείο δηλαδή τώρα. Red blood is not as potent or taste as a human source, but it will partially refill your blood bar. Από εδώ που ήρθαμε, απλά βγήκαμε την πίσω πόρτα, οκ. Keep out. Quarantine. Contagious disease. One shall enter or leave quarantine area without written of the local health authority. An authorized employee of the shall alter, destroy, or remove this card. Violating this regulation will be fined. Quarantine influenza. Keep out of this area by order of Board of Health. Health officer. Καλά, anyway, πάμε εμείς τώρα εδώ. Be careful when you sell items as some ingredients are hard to gather and may be vital for unlocking, crafting, blah blah blah. Ψάχνουμε, παιδιά, ψάχνουμε. Glass vial, ok. Α, έχει μπάρες εδώ. Θα βρούμε κάτι στο νεκροτομείο, δεν μπορεί. Απλά σε λινιά.
I cannot enter.
Down. Okay.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Rock Skull, παιδιά. Ψάχνουμε, γενικά ψάχνουμε εδώ πέρα τώρα. Πάμε στον επόμενο όροφο μετά.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Ferrous tartrate, water started blood sample. Ωραία, quinine. 2 μένουν παιδιά μόνο. Να βρούμε συστατικά. Εδώ είναι, να το. Bottle of alcohol. Εδώ έχει κάτι άλλο.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Underground key. Ναι. More underground key. Ωραία. More key. Shelter key. Key in southwark. Εντάξει, αυτό το θέλουμε βασικά τώρα. Θα κάνουμε recycling to components. Λοιπόν, let's follow the fucking... Oh. Χιλάρομαι, ωραία. Βαμπύρι είμαι. Ψάχνουμε, παιδιά, ψάχνουμε. Πάμε να τσεκάρουμε και εδώ και να μπούμε εκεί μέσα. Εκεί μέσα υπάρχει access. Αίματα, εδώ γίνεται μακελιό.
It's locked.
Είναι locked. Θα πάμε και down floor. Bullet, ωραία.
I cannot enter.
Ωραία, οπότε αφού πήραμε το key, πάμε πίσω. Πιο πάνω τι έχει? Γιατί πάνω δεν ανεβήκαμε. Water rich blood sample. Τίποτα ιδιαίτερο, μόνο αυτό. Κάτω πρέπει να πάμε. Καθόλου καλό αυτό. The door has been unlocked. Με το κλειδί που βρήκαμε. Rock skull.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
Κάτσε παιδιά να αλλάξουμε, ναι. Πολλά ρε εσείς. Σήκω, Τζόναθαν! Μέσα. Αλλά πριν πάμε εκεί, πάμε από εδώ. Αν είναι ανοιχτά, γιατί παίζει για μην είναι.
It's locked, all right.
Use to list on knife. You just acquired a new type of off-hand weapon. Equip it and press Y to directly absorb blood. Έλα ρε. Έλα. Πούντο. Περίμενε. Off hand, όχι serums.
It's locked.
Death report. Office of Pembroke Hospital Medical Examiner. The report of investigation. Descendant Samuel Connor. Race Caucasoid. Sex male. Age 39. Home address unknown. Occupation fisherman. Type of death natural. Probable cause of death fast progressing pneumonia by virus induced pulmonary consolidation Spanish influenza. Examination attendees. Dr. Corcoran Tippett, Nurse Gwyneth Palanagan, name and signature of medical. Γιατί ρε φίλε. Αχ, παιδάκια, αχ. Μισό, παιδιά, να μας μειώσω λίγο, γιατί... Πω. Παιδιά, είχαμε τεχνικό θέμα. Μας κόπηκε το ίντερνετ και επανήλθαμε. Εντάξει, δεν χάσατε πολλά τέτοια. Έχει δημιουργηθεί αυτόματα άλλο βίντεο, συνεχίζαμε να στριμάραμε, οπότε μας βλέπετε στο άλλο βίντεο, μέρος Β το ονόμασα. Γι' αυτό και αναγκαστήκαμε λίγο να διακόψουμε, παιδιά, οπότε συνεχίζουμε εκεί κανονικά. Λοιπόν. Ωραία, για να δούμε τώρα πώς μας βλέπετε, ρε παιδιά. Θα πάτε σε αυτό που είναι ζωντανά τώρα. Θα πάτε σε αυτό που είναι ζωντανά τώρα. Ωραία, λοιπόν. Oh! Θα κάνουμε reload, παιδιά. Καμάτω αυτό, παιδιά, το μυστέρι. Κόβουμε και παίρνουμε και blood. Άντε, γεια.
These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
Παιδιά, ναι, sorry γιατί τέτοιο είχαμε τεχνικό προβληματάκι με το ίντερνετ.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Μπράβο, εδώ είναι από που ήρθα. Water-rich blood sample and enigmatic formula. Ah, workbench. You have enough components to craft a medicine treatment for fatigue. This formula and needs to be analyzed. Treatment for pneumonia, treatment from βροχίτιδα, treatment for cold. Light regeneration serum. Bring the medicine to Dorothy Crane in the patient's room. Ah! Common steak. Common scythe. Common machete. Clay's hatchet. Πάμε να φύγουμε. Health regenerates slowly over time.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Birmingham, 27th October. Hello sis, how are things in the big city? Here in Broome, things are not so good. It seems the flu is here again and we have many new cases of infection in the neighborhood. Do you remember Miss Seller, the old drinking hag from the 3rd floor? She passed away 2 days ago and her flat is already occupied again. Jeez, you would have to pay me a huge amount of money to go sleep in the bed in which a woman died of the flu just a few hours ago. Sorry I did not take time to quickly answer your last letter. Between taking care of little Paul, Mom, Dad and my job at the factory, I rarely find time to write to my favorite sister. By the way, my son says hello to his auntie Pippa. You to see the little bagger already driving me mad. And Mom says you bring back some of those marvelous cakes the next times you come back home. In your last letter you told me you thought about quitting your job at the Pembroke Hospital. I have to tell you, Pip, you better think twice. There are always jobs at the factory, but wages are shit, and it's as boring as a clay without a sock. Oh, I have a new fiance. No, I'm no slut, you moral bitch, you. So if you really want to quit and do something more useful than counting the dead every morning, maybe you better stay in London and join that band you told me about. The Cart or Priven, something like that. Never heard of them, but if they are like you said, some sort of civil militia trying to make a difference, then maybe it's a good choice for you. Just be sure to let the others go in front. That's how my poor Billy got killed in France, violating too many patrols. Bloody war. Anyway, come back as soon as you can and give me all the good news before that. I'm your affectionate sister, Lucy, Paul, Mom and Dad.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke, but we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Και πάλι καλά που ήρθε και εδώ.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Πού είναι η Dorothy Crane, να της φέρω το φάρμακο. Νάτι, μέσα είναι.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Diseases decrease the blood quality of a citizen. Use the correct medicine to heal them. Speak to the patient in the room behind Dorothy to check his medical status. Chapter 2. A rat in the hospital.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Talk to Edgar Swansea.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Press RB to check the medical status of the citizen. Healing a citizen will increase his blood quality and he will reward you with XP. The health status of the district will also improve.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
Έχουμε το φάρμακο και το fatigue, αυτό που κάναμε τέτοιο give
You are not a
medicine.
burden, sir.
Το θεραπεύουμε.
Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Recovering. Ναι, ένα άτομο δεν έχουμε τέτοιον ή τον blind. Αυτός είναι λογικά ο φίλος του που θα βρούμε μετά.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
What a blundering idiot.
Blood temptation. Remember, citizens' blood will provide you a massive XP boost. Look for citizens of your mesmerized level or below and choose wisely.
It's locked, all right.
Καλά, ας κάνουμε rest. Εκεί μέσα είναι, ναι, αλλά θα κάνουμε rest πρώτα, παιδιά. Γιατί, ναι.
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
Λοιπόν... Refill all. Refill all. Απλά τα πράγματα.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Glass vial. Ωραία. Λοιπόν, παιδιά, ώρα να κάνουμε evolve και να κάνουμε και rest. Όπα! Έχουμε εδώ, πω. Γυρνάω Καλη, ναι. You create an invisible barrier absorbing direct damage to the face or it's destroyed. Ωραία. Blood spare. Blood. Increase your blood capacity. Increase your blood room. Increase the damage when you use bind in combat. Increase your life regeneration when you use... Να το, αυτό θέλουμε. Εξωμένα του causes damage upon landing. The following night. Doctor, level 8 παιδιά, βέβαια. Κοντεΐνη. Ferrous Start Rate. Για να δούμε τι μπορούμε όμως να κάνουμε craft γενικά από φάρμακα. Εδώ στο Workbench. Light Regeneration. Treatment for Fatigue. Έχω 2 Treatment for Fatigue.
It's locked, all right.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea.
No.
But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors.
Yeah, very good.
Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings in the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis.
No.
The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skal, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skals come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skal?
A Skal is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Talk to the hospital benefactor. Craft different kinds of serums using the warbands. These can be lifesavers in dangerous combat situations. Α, το Μούργκ, μωρέ, ναι, όπως βγαίναμε εκεί το Μούργκ. Καλά, βασικά εδώ είναι πάνω από πίσω, ναι. Εκεί πάνω και τα όρια. Merchant πάλι. Black Wolf Fall. Oh. Oh.
It's locked.
Talk to the hospital benefactor. Κάτσε να πάρω παιδιά και αυτό το τέτοιο. Sodium hypochlorite solution. New collect about the use of garlic and wood steaks. Dear brothers, I must now draw your attention to a very important point. The use of garlic as a protection against vampires. Let's be crystal clear on the subject. Garlic will never protect you against those creatures, no matter how fresh, how strong and how smelly. Garlic is totally useless as a defense. I can never say enough how damaging that novel of Bram Stoker has been. Yes, of course. Population of Slavic countries place garlic cloves in coffins. Yes, of course. Inhabitants of Santorini Island hang garlic on their windows. Ακριβώς, στη Santorini, στην Ελλάδα. There would be so much to write about this place, and someday soon. I hope to go back to this island to further explore its occult tradition. But that is not to protect the living from the devil, it is to tell the dead that they are aware of their malevolence. It is a symbol, nothing more and nothing less. So please, by all means, yes, wear garlic, sow garlic, hang garlic, and tell the shadows that you are not afraid. But if you're looking for the supernatural protection, you will have to search much deeper into the forgotten secrets of the occult tradition. For here is the truth, my fellow brothers. Garlic does not repel vampires, but all the fresh plants will hurt them. It is as if their body could not stand the presence of botanical elements. I have seen an enraged wolf flee when walked with a rose, yes, a simple rose. I have witnessed a violent acorn fall down and beg for mercy when stuck by a wooden stake. I don't know why it is so effective, and I would give my left arm to find the answer to that mystery. But the truth remains nevertheless. Vampires are very sensitive to fresh herbs, plants and woods. From facing the shadows, how and why by User Toltree, primate of St. Paul.
Damn!
Please, someone help!
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance. I cannot enter.
Ναι, αλλά cannot enter.
Have you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir. I need more information first.
All right. What do you want to know?
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
It's locked, all right.
Α, έλα ρε. Cara de influencia que me sería. Ajá.
I cannot enter. It's locked.
Έχουμε να κάνουμε και το quest, μην ξεχνάτε.
Better go home, sir.
Easy does it, boys. We can deal with that.
Fuck, he's dead! Fight for this!
Whitechapel, West End. Το θέμα είναι το... ναι.
It's on to us!
Πρέπει να φτάσουμε, παιδιά. Κάτσε ρε. Δεν κάναμε κύκλο στο Pembroke. Είμαστε σε άλλο τέτοιο. Στα Λεσίνερκο τα μίνι. Πρέπει να φτάσουμε στο παλιό φαρμακείο απλά.
It's locked, all right.
Ναι, όντως. Το κρυσφύγητο είναι κλειστό.
Last warning!
Rats.
Die, vermin!
Ωραίο αυτό το απειλείται. Τουλάχιστον, παιδιά, φτάνουμε το φαρμακείο, το side quest που κάνουμε. Potassium permanganate. Glove essence. Τίποτα. Σκατούλες. Together today, support the men at the front with a plentiful supply of munitions. You will not suffer in wages. Get into the factory line and feed the firing line. Περίμενε, παιδιά, να οργανώσουμε λίγο τα όπλα μας. Common machete, details. Δεν τα έχουμε όλα τα υλικά. Α, όχι. Όχι ρε, κάτσε ρε, έχουμε να το αναβαθμίσουμε. Περίμενε. Α, όχι, τα έχουμε κάνει αυτά ρε. Details. Για να δούμε. Ναι, τα έχουμε αναβαθμίσει αυτά. Details. Και αυτό το έχουμε αναβαθμίσει, level 2 ήδη. Αυτό δεν πήγαινε άλλο το common machete, μέχρι level 2, οπότε το αντικαταστήσουμε. Change, ναι. Αυτό δεν το έχουμε πάει, 75 damage, used corso, αυτό αναβαθμίζεται. Clay's hatchet. Use scythe. Αυτό, use scythe, 99 damage. Equip, παιδιά, equip. Θα φτάσουμε εδώ στο φαρμακείο τώρα. Dead inside. Κυνηγοί Vampire Hunters είναι. Και Skulls. Παιδιά, περιμένετε. Ultimate power δεν έχω. Ναι. Θα προσπαθήσουμε, παιδιά, άμα είναι να τους αποφύγουμε. Όσο μπορούμε να τους αποφύγουμε. Δεν γίνεται ρε παιδιά, δεν γίνεται. Λοιπόν, ξέρετε τι θα κάνω, μαλακία που έφυγα από το νοσοκομείο, θα γυρίσω πίσω στο Pembroke, να αφήσω αυτό το quest για την ώρα, μα είναι. Μου φαίνεται πρέπει να δυναμώσω σε level. Ξέρετε ρε παιδιά τι γίνεται. Οι passives, ναι, increase your health. Αλλά το πρόβλημα είναι ότι... Ναι. Commonly στο knife. Ναι, θα γυρίσω πίσω, παιδιά. Θα κάνουμε κάποιο άλλο quest άμα είναι. Ίσως να μην είναι ώρα γιατί είναι και 14 level αυτή η Skulls. Και εγώ είμαι 8. Οπότε είμαι πιο αδύναμος. Ναι, ας γυρίσουμε πίσω καλύτερα. Είναι ρίσκι. Τα σκάλες που είναι από πίσω. Limehouse Dog επέστρεψα. Tyson Delaney, fatigue.
Good evening, miss. I am Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I don't have any money for you leeches.
I'm not here for charity, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them.
Bastards,
This region
all of
only
them.
responds to violence and threats.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever. Hey, since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
You still use your husband's name, Edwina. Why is that?
Why shouldn't I? He may be a bloody bastard, but I'm still his wife and his name means something round here.
Are you aware of what happened to him?
Yes. I'm sure he fought till the end and looked death in the eyes. The boys will mourn him. Except one of them, maybe.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
Ναι. Αλλά πες μας, κουκλίτσα μου, what happened exactly?
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory and this is our law.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Can I offer you my medical help, Miss Cox?
I'm fine, thank you.
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Εντουίνα. Όχι. Τα junk θα σπολίσουμε.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
Can I see what you have to sell?
As long as you have money, I'll show you all I have.
Shotgun, παιδιά, θέλουμε οπωσδήποτε.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing.
Good evening, sir.
Whatever.
Don't you recognize me? We met a few nights ago.
Don't take it personally. I spent a lot of energy forgetting what I did the night before.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then as well. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young.
Ξαναήρθαμε στο
like
Turquoise
everybody
Bar,
else.
από εκεί που
I
ξεκινήσαμε.
wanted things to change.
Δηλαδή από
To
το
really
district,
change.
παιδιά, στο
To
ένα στο
change
άλλο
for good.
μεταφερόμαστε.
The bigger the dream, the harder the fall.
Sounds like you were an idealist, which is honorable.
No, sir. I was an anarchist and I believed that exclusive property is a robbery in nature. I wanted a new world to rise from the ashes, Dr. Reed.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No, I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor, make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Delaney?
I drink. I drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night. And then I drink some more.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I drink at night.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
Ναι, καλά.
No reason at all to rejoice, then. Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, When I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn streetlight.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it, and now I can't remember where it was.
Ναι ρε φίλε,
I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is, I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Tribute to the victims, new investigation.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for that. Why are you so cynical?
Cynicism is the polite way to express despair, Doctor.
No reason at all.
Let me
Another time. Is that...
Λοιπόν, περίμενε.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes. I feel sicker than usual these
Αυτός
days.
είχε fatigue, παιδιά, νομίζω.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Recovering. Γιατί είναι και λίγο stable. Οι υπόλοιποι είναι healthy. Το ακούγεται τρυπάν από εδώ που ήρθα.
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me, then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
Ο barman.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
Καλό investigation.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Well, something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Do you need any help?
I'm all right, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Αυτό έχει γίνει. Local Investigations Pembroke. Ναι, τώρα Dr. Waverly Ackroyd. Missing Creature, ναι. The Dogs. Come up with grave diggers.
So few clients. But with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
All these whispers of monsters got folk gossiping and scared. It's people they should fear. Flesh and blood.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you need help?
A real doctor caring about me. That's a first. I feel like a real person.
Treatment for anemia. Έχει ανεμία.
I'll see you later. What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all.
Ναι.
Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse.
Oh.
Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Stella Fishburne. Έχω να τη ρωτήσω.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
All these whispers of monsters got folk gossiping and scared.
Μάλιστα.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
Mesmerize level 2 required.
I'll leave you then. Good night.
Stella Fishburne. Anemia. Used to live with the mother. Social circle. Whitechapel, Dorothy Crane, West End.
I cannot enter. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Say more.
Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Do you require medical assistance?
That's something I didn't expect to hear again. A doctor concerned with the health of his patients. Yeah. I could use some help. On several matters, in fact.
Α, είναι κρυωμένος. Πρέπει να φτιάξουμε τη treatment.
I will see you later. What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
No. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. It's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Καλό investigation, παιδιά.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just wanted to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Για να δούμε πλάκα-πλάκα. Α, καλά.
My guess is they're recruiting for some vengeance.
In the meantime, the boys are waiting for for your orders, my sweet queen.
I hope the rumors about Clay are true. Otherwise...
Turn of page of a diary. For looking away when they mock my color, I hate myself. For crying like a girl when they insult me, I hate myself. For swearing like a boy when they're gone. To myself, for hating my parents, I hate myself. For smiling when customers call me Sabrina, I hate myself. For never finding the courage to tell Tom how I truly feel, I hate myself. Μπράβο, αυτό, με αυτό που βρήκαμε αφορά τη Σαμπρίνα. Νάτι, θα τη ρωτήσουμε.
Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
Do you require medical assistance, Miss Cavendish?
I'm fine, sir. Just have too much work on and not enough sleep.
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
I have nothing to fear from the people round here, miss.
Yeah, I'm a brave woman myself, Dr. Reed, but I'd be a fool to think I'm invincible.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colourful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered.
Πρέπει να
At least it's not happened yet.
περιφερόμαστε, κάνουμε και λίγο free roaming και έτσι προχωράει το παιχνίδι.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the colour of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. Not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it neither.
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Does Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish. Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're that doctor.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Ναι, εδώ που τα είχαμε βρει αυτά. Να μιλήσει με το Swansea. Αλλά εδώ η πόρτα είναι κλειστή. Τώρα είναι ανοιχτή εδώ. Α, μπράβο, που ήταν κλειδωμένη η πόρτα. Τώρα είναι αυτή εδώ. Εδώ πέρα ήταν κλειδωμένη η πόρτα. Night in combat. Ναι. Τις passive ειδικά, παιδιά. Α, τα passive skills, εντάξει, τα έχουμε ξεκλειδώσει όλα, απλά μια αναβαθμισούλα. Όχι, είναι τα πιο τέτοια. Πρέπει να βρούμε cure for cold και anemia. Οπωσδήποτε. Serious fuck. Περίμενε τώρα. Untrack. Retrieve some gin bottles from Tom Watt's stash. Track. Πού εννοεί μωρέ εδώ πέρα? Oh, bloody hell.
Without the wet.
The idiot had to say first.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You seem so proud of your status. Why not tell me who you're working for?
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The Wet Boot Boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
Do you need medical help, sir?
I feel fine, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really. One of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Are you so heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
No.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Παιδιά, θα γυρίσουμε πίσω στο νοσοκομείο. Hello, Frank, over letter. How are you, my old friend? It was good to see you last week. Next time, let me get the rounds in. I hope everything is okay on your side of town. Here in your old neighborhood, the situation is getting worse. Clay is getting more violent every day and is only thinking about expansion even when it seems there are some new players around, trying to dispute our territory. The Wetwood boys are in a bad spot, I'm afraid, so I thought about what you said last time we met. That you never regretted leaving the gang, that the only thing you regret is never being able to put foot in the East End again, to avoid a good beating or worse. Well, rest assured that you'd have my protection if you decide to pass by, and maybe we could talk again about new opportunities and job offer. You know, I have always been good with numbers, so maybe if you need any accountant in your company, let's talk about that, shall we? Say hello to your wife for me. WBB for life, old chap, Booth Digby. Αυτό που βρήκαμε όμως εδώ, έχουμε hint.
You again. What do you want?
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. I cannot enter.
Από εδώ δεν ήρθαμε, παιδιά, αν δεν κάνω λάθος. Ναι, από αυτή την πόρτα ήρθαμε. Εδώ υπάρχει πρόσβαση. Εσπύρι, a simple token, ναι, retrieve the necklace. Ναι, και το ψάχνουμε εδώ στην περιοχή. Λοιπόν, περιμένετε, πάμε εδώ πέρα, ας πούμε. Search for Turo Strangler's order. Find out the cause of death. Είναι εδώ πέρα.
It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked. I cannot enter.
What is happening?
Fishbury Gate, ναι.
You're mine, Vampyr! Oh, bloody leeches in here!
I have this thirst for blood. It's locked.
Hideout unlocked. New hideout. The Vampire Club. Do you think vampires hide in the dodgy areas and the hovels of London? No, they hide in the highest clubs and fancy houses of the West End. I know for a fact that some of them rule the empire in secret. They have a club, they have public figures, they have balls and fancy parties. They aim to control the country and our destinies. We must reveal them for what they are, greedy enemies of mankind, born into this world to bring us all into the eternal darkness of hell. You know them, but you don't dare to pronounce their names. I will soon, and everybody in London will know the name of the Vampire Club. Clarence Crossplay. For more information, please contact me directly. Bravo! Crafting for fatigue, anemia, recyclables. Ωραία. Περίμενε. Anemia. Λοιπόν, παιδάκια, ολοκληρώνουμε εδώ και το part 2. Θα ολοκληρώσουμε και εδώ για απόψε. Και θα συνεχίσουμε την επόμενη φορά η ώρα 9 παρά 25. Θα συνεχίσουμε την επόμενη φορά με part 3. Vampyr, Γιώργος Tserpeption. Ευχαριστώ σήμερα όλους και όσοι με παρακολουθήσατε, παιδιά. Sorry και για το διακοπή. Καταλαβαίνετε, το ίντερνετ συμβαίνουν αυτά. Έχουμε πει, τεχνολογία είναι απρόβλεπτη. Και αυτό, παιδάκια. Καλή εβδομάδα μετά το τετραήμερο. Να συνηθίσετε στις δουλειές, να συνηθίσετε στην καθημερινότητα ξανά.